Hey everyone, welcome back. You know how much we love to go deep on AI here? And, well, let me tell you, the last few weeks have been a whirlwind, so strap in because we've got a lot to cover today.
Yeah, we've been digging through some pretty fascinating stuff, and I think it really highlights just how quickly things are moving.
Oh, absolutely. And it's not just like the tech itself, right? It's
Huh.
how AI is starting to touch basically every part of our lives, like how we find information, the energy it takes to run it all, even how we experience things like political satire.
It's a lot to unpack.
It is. So why don't we start with what everyone's talking about? Google's big shakeup to search.
Yeah, AI mode. This is a pretty major shift.
Right. They're ditching the traditional list of links and, get this, replacing it with a single AI-generated summary that basically answers your question.
Powered by Google's Gemini 2.0 model, no less.
Exactly. Now, on one hand, I can see how this could be so incredibly useful. Like, imagine no more scrolling through pages of results.
It's a straight-to-the-point, synthesized answer.
But then, of course, the big question is, well, how accurate is it? And what are all those websites we used to rely on? Are they just going to disappear?
Those are huge questions, and I think it really gets at this idea of, like, who controls the information, right? If we're all just getting our answers from AI, how do we know we're getting the full picture?
And, it's not just about the tech itself. There's also the business side of things. Like, right now, AI mode is only available to Google One AI Premium subscribers,
So it's a paid feature.
which, makes you wonder, is this the future of search? Is access to good information going to be even more tied to paid subscriptions?
It definitely raises some concerns about digital equity, you know? Could this widen the gap between those who can afford these services and those who can't?
Absolutely. It's something we need to be really mindful of
Yeah.
as AI becomes more and more integrated into our lives.
Definitely.
Okay, so we've talked about how we find information, but let's switch gears for a minute and talk about, well, the less glamorous side of AI, the infrastructure.
The nuts and bolts.
Exactly, because all this amazing technology, it doesn't run on magic, right? It takes a ton of energy,
And that's where things start to get, well, a little complicated.
I'll say, because we were looking at this report from CSIS, the Center for Strategic and International Studies.
Yeah, and their estimate is that the U.S. might need to add 90 gigawatts of energy capacity to its data centers by 2030 just to keep up with the demands of AI.
90 gigawatts, that's like mind-boggling.
It's a massive amount of energy.
Right. It really puts into perspective just how resource-intensive AI is.
And of course, this raises some serious questions about the environmental impact. Are we just going to keep burning fossil fuels to power all this AI progress?
Well, that doesn't seem very sustainable, does it?
Not really.
Yeah.
So this is where we need to start thinking about solutions. Like, how can we power AI development with renewable energy sources? Maybe this even becomes an opportunity to drive innovation in green tech.
I like that, turning a challenge into an opportunity.
Exactly. Because AI is here to stay, so we better figure out how to make it work for the planet, too.
Couldn't agree more. All right, ready for something a little more, shall we say, entertaining?
Sure, let's lighten things up a bit.
Because AI isn't just about search engines and energy grids. It's also, believe it or not, making its way into the world of political satire.
And doing a pretty good job of it, too.
Right. Like, have you seen this Trump Gaza video? It's an AI-generated satire that basically imagines Donald Trump turning the Gaza Strip into, like, a luxury resort.
I have, yeah. It's pretty wild. It even has cameos from, like, Benjamin Netanyahu and Elon Musk, which is just like, wow.
It's crazy, right? But also, like, kind of brilliant, the way he uses humor to make you think about these complex issues.
And the technology behind it is incredibly sophisticated.
Oh, absolutely. Like, the fact that someone can create something like this with AI, it's both amazing and, well, a little unsettling, do you think?
I mean, it definitely raises some concerns about the potential for misuse, right? Like, what happens when AI-generated content becomes so good that it's basically impossible to distinguish from reality?
That's a scary thought, because we already have enough trouble with misinformation as it is.
Exactly. So it's more important than ever to be critical thinkers, you
Yeah.
know? Question what we see online, consider the source, and don't just believe everything at face value.
Such good advice, especially in the age of AI. So as we wrap up our deep dive here, what are your biggest takeaways? What's sticking with you?
I think for me, it really reinforces this idea that AI is such a powerful tool, but it's a tool that can be used for good or for bad.
Like a double-edged sword.
Exactly. So it's really up to us as a society to figure out how to harness its potential in a way that benefits everyone.
And to make sure we're asking the right questions along the way.
Absolutely. We need to be having these conversations, engaging with these issues, and making sure that AI is developed responsibly and ethically.
Couldn't agree more. AI is changing the world so fast, from how we search for information to the energy that powers it, even how we experience things like political satire.
It's a lot to take in, but it's also incredibly exciting, right? I mean, we're living through a technological revolution.
We are. And that's why it's so important to be informed, to be engaged, and to keep asking those tough questions.
Because AI isn't just some abstract concept anymore. It's shaping our world in real and profound ways.
And that's something we all need to be aware of. So keep exploring, keep questioning, and stay curious, everyone. We'll see you next time for another AI Deep Dive.
See you then.